You know, the people of northern Berkshire have celebrated fall foliage for a long, long time. Generations, actually. And 62 years ago, they decided, let's have a parade to celebrate fall foliage. And that's exactly what they've done, and that's exactly why we're here. Hi, I'm Paul Hutchinson, and welcome to the 62nd edition of the Fall Foliage Parade, brought to you on Northern Berkshire Community Television. This year's theme, Magic in the Berkshires. But of course, you know who the most magic, beautiful musician there is, Mother Nature. She's the one who paints all the trees and the hills and valleys and gives this region the unique taste that it has, Fall Foliage Festival. Well, the parade committee tells us there are over 100 marching units, there are over a dozen floats. They're saying there are 4 high school bands, 4 professional bands, and who knows what else. Bruce Hayden is always here with his floats, and we're going to get a good look at all of those as we go by. The 62nd Annual Parade presented by One Berkshires, sponsored by the many businesses of Berkshire communities, and also, of course, the generosity of people from the Berkshires who chip in, because a parade like this is certainly expensive and it takes a considerable amount of money. But it happens every year, and it's one of the great spectacles of fall in northern Berkshire. As usual, the sheriffs lead off the parade, and the North Adams Police Department, of course, is number one. People who put their lives on the line each and every day, each and every hour. The color guard of the Sheriff's Department, followed by the Sheriff, Tom Bowler. He's going to be coming into your picture momentarily. There's the Sheriff. He must have got a raise. He's got a new jacket, I guess. Well, we'll have to see. 1955 was the first year that this parade was begun. 62 years ago. Boy, pretty hard to believe, isn't it? Huh? How many have you come to? If you're from northern Berkshire, I'm sure you've watched a lot of them. And if not, I hope you're watching on community television, because that's a lot of people here from community television just offering their time so that you can enjoy this television. And if you get to see the replay, good. If you get to see it live, that's fine too. Whatever it works to make you happy. That's what they want to do in northern Berkshire. Always looking forward to seeing the Bruce Hayden floats, and I think he's got one coming up here pretty soon. It's not, it's at the fire department. I don't think they've had a float in the parade in a long time, as we take a look at some of the antique trucks. North Adams Fire Department engine number 4, a 1941 Mack pumper, purchased in 1941, and it was refurbished in 2012. 1941, the year Dave Fabiano was born. He looks pretty good for his age. I don't tell Heidi that. The parade is always a mammoth undertaking. It's really, it's something. There's a parade committee, and we're going to see many of the parade committee members in a little bit, because they are the grand marshals of this year's parade. And if you should see any of the parade committee members, you should, thank them, because it's literally a year-round task. Magic in the Berkshires. Those of us who live here know there's a lot of magic in the Berkshires. A lot going on. The Fairy Festival in Adams, which has been created to offer the summer solstice, pay tribute to the summer solstice. The Ilvernani School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, Northern Berkshire and North America's answer to Hogwarts. Of course, Mount Greylock honored by the Harry Potter author, J.K. Rowling. Lots going on. Lots going on right now in Berkshire County. That's ladder number 2 we're looking at. Oh, we go back to engine number 4, I guess. That's pretty good, huh? That's one of those things, and you say, holy cow, you look at the equipment from years ago, and then you look at what's available now, and you say, my goodness, well, how did they even do it in those days? I think the same thing when I first started in broadcasting, and think about what the technology has changed here. Even just doing this television gig every year is amazing. There's ladder number 2. The 1999 Smeal ladder truck with a 105-foot ladder carries 1,000 feet of large diameter hose, and also a lot of the tools that the guys need when fighting a fire. One thing we can say for all of these people is thank heavens for public safety guys. North Adams Fire Department's UTV vehicle. It's an all-terrain vehicle. And of course, knowing the terrain of northern Berkshire, you certainly need it. There's the float. Bruce Hayden responsible for this float. It's a replica firehouse from the 1950s, and it shoots water. It's got an alarm bell, and the fire hydrant erupts with water. There's also a fire truck pedal car inside the hose house there. Pretty interesting. This float won first place in the Pittsfield 4th of July parade. Of course, Bruce Hayden was instrumental in it, along with Mitchell Moranti and Fire Director Steve Moranti. EMS. Oh boy. Magic in the Berkshires. That's why we're here. We certainly know there's plenty of magic in the Berkshires. North Adams Ambulance Department. Well, talk about old fire vehicles. That's it. And as you know, they come from all around. Cheshire is here. Clarksburg is here. Rescue 5. And we're so fortunate, you know, none of these smaller communities are volunteer firemen, and they're really dedicated people. And not to say that the folks in North Adams and Pittsfield are not, but the volunteer firemen are certainly appreciated in the smaller communities, like New Ashford is here. There's New Ashford. Engine number 3. And of course, not to be outdone, Florida Mountain. Well, what would a parade be without dignitaries? We're going to get our first, actually the real heroes are the ones that just went. Now we get into the political realm of some political realm, and not to say they're not important either. Congressman Richard Neal is going to be marching into our camera pretty soon, along with State Senator Adam Hines. One Berkshire has been doing this parade for a number of years, and they certainly do a wonderful job, as has been done for years and years and years and years. Last time I saw Congressman Neal, he was sitting next to the president in the White House last week. Oh boy, here we are, thanks to the Marsh residents on State Street. They're doing the parade for another year. On Northern Berkshire Community Television, Dave Fabiano, Pete Gentile doing the yeoman's work in the control room. Pete, of course, the poster boy for the American Barber Association this year. Well, we saw Congressman Neal. We saw State Senator Adam Hines. We're about to see the mayor, the man who's not going to be mayor much longer, only until January. Mayor Dick Alcombright, completing his fourth two-year term, first elected in 2009. And I suppose the mayor can't go by and we can't say a hi to his mom, Red, who I'm sure is watching the parade now.
How you doing, guys?
Hi, Red. That's what they're thinking. Interesting political year in North Adams this year.
Good to see you.
No incumbent mayor running for the first time in years. First time in a generation, actually, something like 30 years. There hasn't been a mayoral incumbent on the ballot, so that's interesting. It's going to be an interesting election. City Council also has an interesting race coming up, and we're going to have to wait and see. November 7th. That's the important date. The mayor's children taking part. I don't know, the mayor's outdistanced them. They're them old timers, they can still go. It's a beautiful day. You know, yesterday was rainy and cold and really crummy. And this year, this day, it's really decent. It was a little cool this morning, but the sun is out. It's quite comfortable now. The only disappointing feature of this year's foliage parade, and it's not the parade's fault, it's the weather's fault, is the foliage is kind of subdued at this point. It's been warm, hasn't been cold enough for the leaves to really get going, but it'll happen. And regardless, we're still having a good time with the 62nd Fall Foliage Festival. Magic in the Berkshires. We're going to see a lot of magic. We're going to see witches, we're going to see goblins, we're going to see fairies, we're going to see all kinds of stuff. We might even see Doris Hutch ride by on her broomstick before the end of the day. You never can tell. Well, we saw the mayor, who's a very important instrument in the city government of North Adams, and maybe the second instrumental portion of that city is the city council. Councilors are coming along. It's going to be interesting. There's 4 new councilors going to be elected in November. So many of them are not running. Several are running. Of course, we see Lisa Blackmore. She's going to come into view. She's running for state representative. There's Wayne Wilkinson. He's running for re-election. But Lisa won't be running because she's running for the seat of the late Gail Ann Caridi for the 1st Berkshire District. So that's an interesting race, too. And that polling will be done on the day after Columbus Day, which will be, a week from Monday, a week from Tuesday, rather, the Tuesday after Columbus Day. So, you might want to mark that in your calendar because it's going to be a very important election. Poor Gail Caridi, she passed on, leaving the seat vacant and leaving a big void in the political structure of Northern Berkshire. And we have 4 good candidates running for that office, and hopefully they'll do as good a job as Dale did. When you talk about 62 parades in Northern Berkshire, you got to talk about the Drury High School Marching Band. They are here in force. 62 members. They're going to be playing, what else? What other kind of song would they play? But do you believe in magic? Of course I do. We live in Northern Berkshire. Drum majors, Amanda Moon. Percussion leader, Abby Kate Caproni. Members of the band front under the direction of Diane Burdick. And band front captain, Jordan Therian. Christopher Caproni, of course, is the director. The Blue Devil Marching Band. Do you believe in magic? You know, at the top of the parade, we talked about all of the effort and work that goes into putting a parade together, and these are the folks who do it. Grand Marshals of this wonderful fall committee. Boy, they work all year long. Janet Lanou, Jack Brooks, Joanne Thurian, Ed Nimmons, Bruce Hayden, of course, Dale Waterman, Kathy Kieser, Brian Flagg, Susie Helm, and parade director Danielle Helleran. So when you see these guys on the street, say thanks. I just love the Fall Foliage Parade. Well, we saw a lot of the volunteer firemen in their trucks with their sirens blasting. Not these guys, the Alert Hose Company from Adams. They're showing up in their 1893 turn of the century Prince Albert style buff and white uniforms. Been a trademark of the Alerts forever. Talk about, you know, the dedication of the Alerts, or not only the Alerts, as I meant to say volunteer firemen, but the Alerts are volunteers. You know, they do such a great job, and they're so dedicated. The parade cart, wow. And there's the little Kaczynski guy. Joe Kaczynski's grandson is up there. Renee's son, he came, believe it or not, all the way from Virginia to ride on this parade cart. And he already got the wave down. He knows what he's doing. Nice job. 1895 parade cart of the Alert Hose Company. It's no surprise that's how they transport the hose company. I don't think those guys walked all the way from Adams. Well, they probably would if they asked them to. Alert Hose Company #1, followed by the Princess, the 2001 Aggie Fair Princess, 6-year-old Estelle Klein of Adams. The Aggie Fair, one of the popular agricultural fairs in the region, and one that's still surviving in spite of difficult times with agricultural fairs. The Mountain One marching unit. One Berkshire's, if you want to thank, we talked about thanking the parade committee. One Berkshire's kind of fronts the deal, so they're the ones that are really instrumental. Well, magic in the Berkshires, you know, we thought we'd see some strange characters, not just sitting by the roadside, but those in the line of march, too. Who else but Bruce Hayden would design a float like this? And there's Bruce right there, right beside the float, taking it in. Of course, none of Bruce's floats are eligible for a prize because he's considered a pro. He's even going to come up here now. Bruce.
Yes, sir.
What are you doing this year?
Well, we got Harry Potter here, another Harry Potter coming, and the Cascade Waterfalls, and you already saw the fire party. And what else we got? We got a tribute to Mark Feeder, that passed away from the Shriners. But awesome day. You're going to see an awesome day.
You always do an awesome job.
I don't know about that.
Neither do I, but I'm trying to make you feel good. Good job, Bruce. Bruce Hayden. Well, there's no shortage of characters around either. But, you know, now you get a feel for Bruce's, what he's designed for the float for the rest of the year. The rest of the parade, too. Berkshire Community College. Well, I'm glad Bruce came up and talked to us because, you know, he's a wonder. If you ever went to his place, we'll talk about him later as we look at the Uncle Sam Chorus. They're a staple here every year. They're over from Troy, New York, home of Uncle Sam. It's always good to see them, too. Uncle Sam looks pretty good for his age. What's he, about 230 or so? He's an old dude anyway. There's Sammy. Always great to see them in the parade too, huh? Uncle Sam's Chorus. And the first of our veterans units, we have a Veterans of Foreign Wars group coming by. I think it's probably appropriate that the veterans follow Uncle Sam's Chorus. I'm looking forward. There's Roseanne, our hostess with the mostest here, Rose Marsh, who lets us utilize her home. Every year we kind of take over. Northern Berkshire Community Television does, and takes over probably about 10 o'clock in the morning until about 3 or 4 in the afternoon. So thank you. It's good. More vets. Sylvia LaFave from Post 160 with her little, let's see, I guess you'd call that a motorcycle, would you? Three-wheeler? Vietnam Vets of America are here. Legion Commander from Post 152 and veterans of World War II. There's some of the crew on the street. Brian Powsey, the folks from MCLA. Brian, of course, donating his time to bring you the parade, as are all of the other NBCTC people. AMVETS, Department of Massachusetts.
Go left, right, left, go left.
There's Lou Floriani. AMVETS from North Adams. Well, we saw, this is the first mayoral candidate we've seen, Bob Moulton Jr., who's a city councilor. We talked about the city council and the people not running. He's running for something else, a little bigger office in the city. Bob Moulton Jr. and his family. First time in a generation there hasn't been an incumbent mayor on the ballot, so this is really going to be an interesting election year. As the folks from United Cerebral Palsy pass by. That's quite an organization. A lot of good organizations. There's a little float from UCP. Kids in the foliage. The District 33 Lions are coming around. Lions around the world are celebrating 100 years of service to their communities. The banner we saw has been around for quite a while. It was in Massachusetts. It's a Massachusetts banner. Was in Chicago for the big Massachusetts. I got Massachusetts in my mind. The Lions parade. And of course, Dick Lang driving that car. Dick Lang usually drives the big mobile. But this year, I guess he's relegated to the rumble seat with the lion, the tail twister in the back there. The Lions have over 1.4 million members, 210 countries. There are 46,000 Lions clubs, and they speak 11 different languages. I struggle with one language. Studio North. Magic in the Berkshires. And the float is the winner of the Directors Award. Studio North has a castle with dancers dressed as magical creatures, older students dressed as Hogwarts students that are dancing and marching the route. The studio staff and parents are dressed as Hogwarts teachers. So that's the first float winner we've seen. Hogwarts School. Of course, the North American Hogwarts School is up at Mount Greylock. I was up there yesterday morning but didn't see it. It was foggy and rainy, so I suppose all the folks were studying inside. Ilvermorny on Mount Greylock. It always amazes me how much talent these little kids have. Young kids, I should say. Pretty neat. You know, there's so much for kids to do around here. That's all part of magic of the Berkshires. That was a little guy getting a ride. He or she's the smart one. So much magic as we take a look at Dong Race. Berkshire Merchant Services, 1965 Chrysler Imperial 4-door hardtop with only 118,000 original miles. 1965. 52 years ago. Wow. That's still running pretty good. Thank you, Dawn. More state representatives. The gentleman from Lanesboro, Kevin Toole, running for the first Berkshire District Representative seat, which was held by the late Gail Caridi. Jacob's Pillow, one of the nationally known dance areas around, celebrating its 85th anniversary season in 2017, this summer. Well, we've only seen one band to date. Now we're going to get to listen to the Pittsfield High School Marching Generals. Under the direction of Ashley Paradise, this 40 wind, brass, and percussion players perform yearly here at North Adams, and of course at the Pittsfield 4th of July Parade, all over. folks from B Fair, parade sponsor, and also a marching unit. And it looks like they have a float in the parade also. I have to get a look at it. It's the Grand Marshal Award winner from B Fair. It's a B Fair magician with Omar Black inside performing magic tricks for all. It'd probably make Dave Fabiano disappear. Hey, pretty good trick.
Right here, guys.
He's in the magic hat. Magic in the Berkshires all around. So we take a look at some Girl Scouts. Central and Western Massachusetts Girl Scouts. Scouting, such a great program for youngsters, both Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, as we take a look at the Girl Scouts right now. Tire Warehouse has some vehicles here. Well, to get back thinking about Bruce Hayden again, you know, he was up here and he's got several floats he's been working on because he's instrumental in so many of the construction of the floats. But if you ever get to see where he constructs them, he saves the junk that you and I would throw out, and he somehow magically, talk about magic, magically puts things together and pieces them together and makes a float out of it. Now, how he does it, he's just got that special mind that has the ability to figure that out. Talk about a genius. Berkshire Dance Theater. Another dancing group dancing their way up State Street in front of the Marsh residence. Again, we want to thank the Marsh folks and everybody here for allowing us to use their facility. It never ceases to amaze me how much talent there is in the region, whether it's somebody drawing a painting or dancing like these youngsters. It's just something else. Berkshire Pride is here. Berkshire Pride are the organizers of the first ever outdoor LGBTQ Pride Festival in Berkshire County. And we can see John Barrett coming into view. John, of course, is no stranger to the streets of North Adams or this parade. As the mayor of North Adams for many, many years, he's instrumental in just being here. John, of course, running for state representative. We've seen 3 of the 4. Is 3 of the 4? Yes. No, we've seen all 4. Have we? We'll have to wait and see. We saw Lisa Blackner. We see John. Agawam Fire Truck. Greylock, brought to you by Greylock Insurance. I guess that's probably, that's a long ride from Agawam, but they're here. Hopkinton. I think some of these were stored somewhere. Someone's collecting fire trucks. This is Hopkinton. They're going the wrong way from the Boston Marathon. They're supposed to go the other way, the other 26 miles, not the 100 miles this way. But that's okay. They're here. It's good to see them. Let's see. There's a fire show October 8th, I see, at Butternut Ski Area from 10 to 3. So maybe if you're looking for something to do next weekend. What's that? Columbus Day, I think, next Monday. Community health programs. As Mrs. Fabiano goes by. David ducked down so she wouldn't see him. Community health programs with, here for you. You know, they're dedicated to getting you healthy. From Foliage, New York, the Ichabod Crane Marching Band, the Riders. They've been in every parade since 1986. They love to come here, the Ichabod Crane Riders. Speaking of magic, they come from the land of the Headless Horseman. So there's certainly something to be proud of when you talk about magic. And we're looking at city council candidate Brian Sapienza, who's running a campaign for mayor or for city council, because next right behind him is candidate for mayor Tom Bernard.
Good.
Tom and his wife. MCLA. We have a couple of gals working this crew from MCLA. And all their friends are down there. They're waving back and forth. President of the college is here too. Jamie Burge. Mr. President. His first parade. And of course, where would we be without Slider? No, that's not Slider. That's the Trailblazers mascot. Slider will be here later, I'm sure. That's the Trailblazer. The Hayden Award winner, Magical Mist from the Cascades. From Greylock School. Kids love their school. Greylock. "62 years of parades, starting in 1955. Wow, certainly grown since then. The weather's been nice, and Mother Nature a little slow on the foliage trigger this year, but she'll come around before the end. She knows we wait for that magic as St. Stanislaus Kostka School in Adams goes by. One of the few parochial schools left in the region. So it's been a pretty good parade. What do you think so far, huh? 62, moving right along. Bruce Hayden, always good to see Bruce. We haven't seen the Shriners yet, though. They'll be coming along. It won't be long, but they'll be here soon. And that's always something folks look forward to each and every year. Talking about the election, you know, that we've talked about the election, and it's important because it's so many vacancies this year. In the city council race, you have 4 incumbents not running. You got the election November 7th. The state representative primary is the day after Columbus Day. That's important to choose a successor for Gail Caridi. And you know, it's important. Elections are important as we see each and every election. As we take a look at Rose Marsh down there enjoying the sunshine, enjoying her sidewalk. There's a little tyke. This is probably her first parade, maybe 2, and I'm sure she's having a ball too. And I hope you are. We are here, Northern Berkshire Community Television, just enjoying the day. Right on State Street, great parade location. Berkshire Nursing Mothers has a float. Their theme is Mothers Are Magical. Well, I guess you could say, where would we be without mothers? We all had one. Even some of us who are questionable whether we had mothers or not, but no. Mothers, thank God for mothers, huh? Well, we've seen 3 float winners so far. We should have a couple of more. We still have to catch the Mayor's Award and the Harry S. Orr Award. So we'll have to see. They'll be along shortly. We'd like to say hi to Irene Fitzpatrick of Pittsfield. She looks forward every year to watching this parade, and she's tuned in a little. Well, she'll be tuned in a little later to watch. So hello, Irene. Should also say hi to Corin over at the doctor's office in Williamstown. she's probably watching now too. So anyway, it's a mammoth undertaking. You can't stress enough, and people sometimes get so frustrated. They say, "Oh, the parade wasn't what it used to be," and this and that. But things are so expensive now, and then you can say, maybe you should send a check to One Berkshires, because they do this. Danielle does a great job putting the parade together. It's a mammoth undertaking. When you think about organizing a parade for over 100 units, it's kind of mind-blowing when you think of it. This next unit is going to be interesting. It's brought here by Mass MoCA. Of course, Mass MoCA has become such an important part of the Northern Berkshire community. Mass MoCA had brought the Brooklyn United Band back. And if you went to the opening of Building 6 at MoCA, you know that this was the band that played there. So we're going to get a chance to see them live on Northern Berkshire Community Television. Little girl wasn't camera shy at all. Magic in the Berkshires right here on State Street. The kids are good. Stephanie Bosley, running for state representative. Hi, Steph. A minute ago I was thinking we'd seen all the candidates. I couldn't think of the last one, and there she is. Stephanie Bosley. The Pittsfield Fire Department. This is the muster team. They have 4 antique fire engines. 1919 white engine, 1932 Han, 34 Rio, and a 39 GMC. Taking a look now at the Mayor's Award. Another one of those floats dedicated to magic. Northern Berkshire Pediatrics. The Mayor's Award. A lot of new floats this year. Those are new. That looks like Harry Potter's classroom. Huh? Is that Hogwarts or Ilvermorny up on the mountain of Greylock? We'll have to wait and see, I guess. Where would you be, Smokey? Huh? Massachusetts Forest Fire Control, Forest Fire Prevention. Only you can prevent forest fires. That's probably a lesson we should all learn, you know. After some of the horrific fires that we've seen out west late in the summer, and just burning massive amounts of land, and half the time most of them are set somehow, maybe not on purpose, but through ignorance or whatever. I guess there's no other term for it. Northern Berkshire Community Television bringing you all of the excitement of this year's 62nd Fall Foliage Parade. The crew, Pete Gentile, Joanne Hurlbert, Samantha Knierson, Ryan Powsey, Maggie Allen, Dave Fabiano, and Julia Teixeira. So without them, you wouldn't be watching the parade. And I could be home watching the Red Sox and the Patriots. But you know what? I'd rather be here. There's Joanne Hurlbert. She's kind of manning one of the cameras. She's the educational coordinator, I believe, at NBCTC. So you probably all recognize her from school functions. Getting a look now at our next high school band, the Hoosick Valley Hurricane Marching Band, under the direction of Jacob Keplinger. Students from the towns of Adams, Cheshire, and Savoy, and they're going to be playing 24K Magic by Bruno Mars to celebrate, what else? Magic in the Berkshires. Northern Berkshire teen center roots, I should say. As we continue with magic, there's a magical character if you ever saw one. We saw the Alert Hose Company ancient fire truck. Here's one that's even older, the 1860 hose cart of the Philmont Fire Department. Folks come every year. It's always good to see him. It's always good to see him. It's almost like a family reunion every year for a lot of these. 1860 hose cart. Can you imagine? You know, before the Civil War, the year Lincoln was elected? Wow. When you talk about magic in the Berkshires, you got to think about miracles in the Berkshires. This is the Living Hope Community Church float. As we could all use a miracle from now and then. Singers, guitar, music, and a scene showing leaving all kinds of trials and tribulations and sickness at the foot of the cross with God's miracle of grace and healing. There's a degree of magic to that, I'm sure. I guess some heavenly magic. Cub Scouts. Beautiful program. Cub Scout 35 pack from North Adams. And of course now we have the radio station vehicles. Ryan Powsey going to get all excited about that. Live 95.
Hi, North Adams.
Hi guys.
We love you. What's going on? What TV station is this?
NBCTC.
Radio. Live 95.5 WNAW, which is just up the street from us. Is that Mike Garland driving?
Great day for a parade. Enjoy
Yes,
the
it
show.
is. Mike Garland. WUPE.com. Listen online at Whoopee Radio.
Hey.
Happy fall foliage.
Okay, so much for radio. Let's get back to television. Whole different medium. Tunnel City Transport. Here we have some more city council candidates. Paul Hopkins, Jason LaForest, we've seen some before. Let's see, Rebecca Cohen. Once again, that election is coming up. It's going to be November 7th. TEDx of North Adams.
Conference of great ideas.
Mount Greylock Camp Scott. Take the marbles out of my mouth. Mount Greylock Campsite Park. That's a tongue twister. Mount Greylock, such a beautiful spot, and of course, the Ilvermorny School of Wizardry is located on the top of Mount Greylock, northern Berkshire and North America's answer to Hogwarts. Family camping. Woodford Snowbusters. Let's get past the foliage before we start worrying about snowbusting, shall we? But it won't be long. We still have a lot of foliage left to go, so we got something to look forward to before the snow hits us. These are interesting. B&B Micro Manufacturing mini houses. The Arcadia is a tiny house built by B&B Micro Manufacturing, built right here in North Adams at the Windsor Mill. It's for sale, or you could work on it. Look at all, it's compact, it's small. Apparently that's the big thing coming, the big thing happening. Folks who want maybe a campsite somewhere or whatever. It's wild. And they're small and they're compact and they're affordable. Built right here in the city. Pine Cobble School, carrying banners that read awareness, courage, gratitude, compassion, responsibility, honesty, cooperation, perseverance, and respect. Something we could all live by. From Williams College, the Kushika Band, a professional band from Williams College. a lot of different things this year. These guys, the folks from Brooklyn, pretty neat. From Still River, Massachusetts, the Immaculate Heart of Mary School with 35 members. Well, it's just about time for the shrine units as we take a look at the Ladies Oriental Shriners Clown Unit. I dare to think about the Shriners clowns when they come by. Shriners providing entertainment of their own. They could do the parade. It's always a great asset to have these fellows. They're so great and they're so dedicated. You know, everything they do, all of the money that they raise and the efforts they undertake go toward charity. So it's certainly a noble cause. This is the good part of the parade. I can just sit back and watch like you're doing. That's the commander of the Legion of Honor just went by, Matthew Herman. Shriners is one of those organizations, there's something for everybody. You know, if you like old cars, if you're an old car buff, you know, good. If you're a clown, a lot of people are clowns, but if you want to be a clown, you can be a clown. They have a circus every May in Springfield. And of course, the biggest thing they do is provide the Shriners hospitals with funding where kids can get taken care of at no cost to the parents. You know, we all know the high price of medical in these days, that just perfect for somebody, an outfit like the Shriners, to provide free medical care for children, especially children. You know, poor little guys don't get a break. The Berkshire Shrine Club is always here. They're always fun. If you look close, you probably see some folks you know. And I'm sure these organizations are always looking for new members. So if you're interested and you think you might want to become a Shriner, you know, ask somebody. Ask someone that's involved. And I'm sure they'd inform you about what's needed and what's involved and what's detailed. And I'm sure they'd like to welcome you into their organization. Here comes, I would bet, our annual, no, are we going to get our annual visit? Yeah. Do you have a parking permit? Have you got a parking permit for that thing? Every year we do this. And I don't know why we do this. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. How's the
I
parade?
have magic for the Berkshires. Watch this. This is pretty cool. I got some balloons.
Yeah.
Right? And my bag is empty. So then I put the balloons back into the bag. And when I take them out, they'll be tied. Right? A couple magic words. Tied.
Tide detergent.
And the bag's still empty.
That's not all that's empty.
Oh.
Up here. And what do you think of the parade so far?
It's been great. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah. How'd you like it?
I love it every year.
Oh, good.
Till now. Why do you guys do this?
We helped raise money for the Shrine Hospital so that the kids can get their medical treatment that they need.
You guys go all over. It's not just this parade.
No, we're all over. We're all over the country, really. Every shrine unit goes out and parades. But we do pretty much Western Massachusetts.
When are you going to give me a ride?
Whenever you want it. Hop on my shoulders.
Okay. Come back after.
I'll be back. Okay.
All right. Enjoy. All right. Thanks for coming by. Play a little magic. We're talking about magic in the Berkshires. Now we're going to make the clown disappear on our own. So if he doesn't break his neck getting off this hill here. No, he's made it. Good. Well, you heard it right there. Why the shrine exists, why they do what they do, to raise money to help crippled kids get better. What a noble undertaking that is. Think about all the hours it takes to practice that before you don't run into somebody in front of you. Holy cow. That's pretty cool. Another one of the cool things that comes at this parade is this right here, these four-wheelers doing wheelies. Always a crowd pleaser. The nice part about watching these guys is watching them because they're having so much fun. You know, it's not just somebody drudging through doing something. They're having a ball on their own. Well, we saw Lisa Blackmer a little earlier. She's doing the parade route twice. She went with the city council. Now she's coming by again. I don't know if we're going to get a shot of her or not. But she's running for state representative for the first Berkshire district. There's Lisa. The first Berkshire district. And that election, the primary election, is the day after Columbus Day. So, you know, the important part about elections is you got to get out and vote. This always fascinates me, how these guys, they honk right along. They fly, and they whip right over that thing. They all graduated from the Doris Hutch Driving School, of course. That'll get me in trouble for the rest of the day. That's just so neat. Just I could watch them all day long. Well, we got some three-wheelers coming up the road on two wheels. I guess you got to see that to believe it. And I think you will in a minute. I'll have to wait for another one. There we go. The Melha Drum Corps. We get a little interlude from them. They're from Springfield, the Melha Shrine out of Springfield. Let's listen, shall we? I could probably do the cymbals, maybe. Then they throw me off the back of the bus. But get out of here, clown. A lot of people have such musical talent. It's magic to me that they can do it, because I have none. But there's plenty of magic in the Berkshires to go around. I think we've seen a lot of it today. Tip of the hat and a thank you to the One Berkshire Parade Committee, who've done such a great job as they do each and every year. They're yeomen of this, and there's a committee, what is there, about 15 of them, and they work tirelessly. There's a bunch of new committee members too, and I'm sure they'll be getting into the swing of things as the days go on, and they'll start now thinking about next year. I mean, most of us now, we're just thinking about Thanksgiving maybe, but these guys are going to start thinking about the parade for next year. Magic in the Berkshires, good topic this year. Not quite the magic we wanted. We'd like to see a little more foliage, but that'll come. We know it's going to happen. There's the Berkshire Fatherhood Coalition.
We have candy too. All right.
As a horse, you don't have to feed or walk or ride. And of course, right at the end, who else? Ronald McDonald. Let's see, who's he going over? You going to go over see Doris? Or are you going to see Bonnie Noak? This is my niece, came out from Concord. Doris and my brother Bill, Bonnie in the middle. Billy tried to get a hamburger out of him. I guess it's not going to work.
Take care. Bye-bye now.
Well, the 62nd Northern Berkshire Fall Foliage Parade is in the books. How'd you like it? 62 years. Magic in the Berkshires, and it certainly was a magic parade. Great parade. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. It was a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun every year. The Directors Award went to the Studio North. They had the great floats. There were a bunch of floats. We heard Bruce Hayden talk about some of them earlier. The Grand Marshals Award went to Bee Fair. The Mayor's Award to Northern Berkshire Pediatrics. And Greylock School was the winner of the Hayden Award. They had Magic in the Cascades, of course, which is a magic place for anybody to enjoy. The Cascades, of course, out in the West End, and it's something to behold if you've ever seen it. So that's going to do it. On behalf of Dave Fabiano, Pete Gentile, and the whole Northern Berkshire Community Television staff, I'm Paul Hutchinson. Enjoy the autumn. See you next year.